So today we're going to look at a awesome little folder that you can install on your computer, and it's going to create a synchronized copy of all the things that you have in your Google Drive down onto your computer. That means that you have no need to upload and download files manually from Google Drive if you want to work with them, and that includes things like Word and Excel files. So if I had a Word file on my computer, then I can open that on my computer, edit that on my computer, and the folder, this little app, is going to synchronize that copy up to the web for me. So when I go to Drive, there's my Word file waiting for me to use or edit or share or whatever I need to do with it. And if I then need to make more edits to that Word document, I do not need to download it and re-upload it. I simply go to the version I currently have on my computer, I edit that version and save it, and the app will again synchronize those changes back up to the web for me. So I never need to upload and download files to keep them up to date. So let's check it out. It's a great option for backing up files as well as just keeping things available across anywhere that you might be using these documents. I'm going to go ahead and search for download drive. Download drive, first link right there, download drive. Perfect. I'm going to hit that. And we get this option here, safely store your files and access them from any device, because of course I can go to any other computer I want and log into my Drive account, and there's my files waiting for me. I used to use this a lot when I was visiting classrooms. Let me go ahead and hit the download for desktop here and save. There we go. I'd often visit a class and have some files I wanted to share with the class, and they'd be on my computer. And so I would make my updates and save, and it would synchronize to the web. And by the time I'd walked over to the teacher's smartboard and logged into my Google account, there was my files all waiting for me to use. So it's a great option that way for just making things available to myself. But as I said, it's really good if you're working with, say, Office files or something that you want to edit in Word or Excel, but not have to worry about, and you want to keep them backed up certainly, so you don't lose them, or potentially you're sharing them with people, but you don't want to have to upload and download all the time. Looks like this is just about finished. Perfect. I'm going to click on that and install this little app. I've used it for years and years and years, but for this demo, I uninstalled everything, so this should be a clean installation. Add an application shortcut to your desktop. I really don't need that. I know where the folders are going to be. It's fine. Desktop shortcuts for docs, sheets, and slides. So I don't need that either, but it's like when you install Office, you get links for Word and Excel right in your desktop. If I want to start a doc sheet slide, I'm just going to open Drive and do it from there. So I don't need those shortcuts. I'm going to click Install. Give it a moment. Done. Okay, not a big deal. I'm going to go ahead and launch. And it should need me to sign in here is the thing. Perfect. Okay, welcome to Drive. Safely store your files, open them with applications on your computer, automatically keep them up to date, and back up photos to Google Photos. We're not going to do that part, but it's good to know that that's in there. What's under the three dots here? Preferences and About. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And definitely I need to sign in. And in Chrome, I'm already logged in with my Google account, so this is pretty quick and easy to do. Yes, I'm going to sign in. Yay, so let's go back to the application. I still have that open at the bottom here. Perfect. All right, so loading up files. So this first part, open the File Explorer to see Drive files. It says your files will show up in File Explorer without taking up extra hard drive space. Okay, so this is getting into an option that it's going to talk about here between mirroring and actually copying all your files. So let me go next for a second. And see what it's looking to do here. It's talking about folders and things that I currently have on my computer. So again, like a My Documents type folder that I could right click and make that available in Drive. But I'm not really interested in doing that. Instead, I want to go back and I'm going to skip this step entirely. I'm going to come down to sync with Google Drive. Okay, so again, I don't want to grab my desktop folder or the My Documents folder. Same kind of thing here. So I'm going to skip that step and get into the syncing options here and the backing up with my photos. So I'm going to say got it. But again, I don't want my pictures going to Google Photos. That's not the same as Google Drive. It's a separate thing entirely. If I'm going to work with photos, I'm probably going to want them in Drive so I can work with them in my documents and share them with people, that sort of thing. So photos is a separate thing that we're really not going to mess with today. So I'm going to skip that step as well. I'm going to go ahead and say Open Drive. And here, what I'm going to do, once I've got this little floating guy over here, is I'm going to go to the settings and the preferences. This is what I'm looking for. Okay. So my laptop, that's the part that I was trying to skip. I didn't want to use the my laptop part, but I do want to go to Google Drive. So I'm going to click on the Google Drive folders, and this is exactly what I was looking for. The difference between streaming files and mirroring files. This is super important because I just opened the video selling you on the idea that you're going to have a file on your computer and up in Drive. But if I leave it at stream files, I don't get that. It's streaming files is just like accessing a network drive or something. It's not actually on my machine, it's only on the web. And I want to be able to make sure I've got all this stuff available when I'm offline, when I'm at the hockey rink or the cottage or something. So streaming is not what I'm looking for. I want mirrored files. Now it says, okay, files will be created at my name / my drive. That's good. That's Google Drive. That's what I want. So I'm going to confirm that location. That's what I'm looking for. It does tell me that streaming uses less hard drive space, and that's true because the files aren't on your computer, but I want them on my machine. So I'm going to use mirrored and say save. Some changes. Yep, I'm going to go ahead and do a restart, which might mean there's a part 2 to this video here. And now we're good. Okay, perfect. I paused there for a second in case there was going to be a big drawn out reboot, but it doesn't look like it. Instead, I'm going to click in the corner here and I'm going to click on Drive, and perfect. I can see it is now looking at all my files and syncing those files. So it's basically making, copies of everything down to my computer. And it's going to look through all my files. It says 298 right now, but I know that's definitely going to go up by quite a bit as it slowly synchronizes all these copies. And so this initial sync, when you first install this, will take a bunch of time, depending on how much you currently have in your drive. But it's going to copy all that stuff down. Once that initial sync is complete, then you get the really fast performance. That's where I was saying I could, use a file in a classroom on a smart board, update it on my computer. By the time I've walked over to the board, it's updated and ready to be used. But during this initial sync, of course, that's going to take some time, so it's not that super quick. But once these are all done, you can just leave it on your desk or leave it for the night or let it do its thing. If I were to stop right now and shut down, when I booted back up, it would reconnect to the internet and it would continue syncing those files. And the same is true when you're working on any other file. Say I was offline at the cottage, I'm on the dock, I'm working away, and I've saved my Word documents and my Excel files and my Smart Notebook files, but I'm not connected to the internet. Once I do connect to the internet, that's when the app is going to reach out and start updating Drive and giving you all the things that you need and getting all of the changes synchronized. So here I can just wait and let that go, but I should also be able to go to my files now. Oh, popped up on the other screen here. Let me bring that over. And come on. This whole window's taking its time. Geez, computer's thinking really hard right now. Waiting for the whole side panel to load up here. Come on. All right. So I paused you guys there for a while so you didn't have to watch, but now I have finished syncing many thousands of files and should be ready to go. So I just want to see what we can demo quickly here without dragging it out too much more here. If I go to my files and I look at this PC, I will now see I have a G drive. So C drive, H drive, T drive. Now we have our G drive for all of our Google stuff. So I'm going to open that up and I get my shared drives as well as my drive. So you can actually access shared drives this way. Now they're not copied down to my machine. These are going to be streamed instead of mirrored. So the shared drives, I mean, there can be many, many gigabytes worth of stuff in there. You probably wouldn't fit it on your hard drive anyway, so good thing. But when I go to my drive, I should see all of my different files in here. I'll just open up my example files folder for a second. I've got Word documents and sheets and all sorts of different things in here. Let me go ahead and just create a new Word document here. So brand new Word, I'll even call it new Microsoft Word document just to keep it really simple. I'm going to open this up on my computer in Word with just a double click as usual. This is my new Word doc. I'm going to click Save. I'm going to close it. And just to show you doing things here, let's see. Yep, you can see right there, it's already uploading that to the queue. Looks like it's still syncing 4 files at the moment. So it might not have been 100% done, but let's see what happens when I jump over to Drive, Example Files. I could jump into my example files, see if it's quick enough to already be here. I don't think. If it's still just queuing and figuring that out, then I may be getting ahead of myself. But generally speaking, once everything is fully synced, this is how quick it's going to be. Okay, so there's N for new. So it's not right there. Let's just check the app again real quick. I may be too ambitious in our demo here. Yeah, it's queued. It's still got a couple of files that it's syncing up. But essentially, that's how quick it's going to be when it comes to actually just editing a file or creating a file or saving it into any folder. As long as it's under that Google Drive folder, then it's going to get synced up very, very quickly, and you'll have access to it basically immediately. So super handy option that way when you're working with any of these files and you don't want to have to download them and upload them constantly to keep things current or worry about, which version is the current version and which version you uploaded last time. This time there is one version. It's essentially synchronized, so kind of 2 versions, but there's the version on your computer. You do not have to upload and download. You just edit it and leave it. And as long as there's an internet connection, that app will be running in the background all the time, and it will keep everything synchronized. So give it a shot, get it all set up, and definitely the only time you should really need to do any updates to it, you might get a little, notice or something from Google about an update, but they've actually gotten better at sort of pushing updates out automatically now in the recent versions. So unless you, drop your drop your laptop in the lake and need to get a new machine, all you got to do is install this app again and everything you've been working on gets synchronized back to your computer. Unlike that stuff that you have saved on your desktop or your My Documents where it only exists on your laptop and you won't get that stuff back.